Many civilians seeking to flee the fighting frequently come under fire. This woman was injured while attempting to escape with her son from West Mosul, where the battle continues to rage.
وقمنا مشينا مع هاي العالم، مع ما مشينا هاونات ما أعرف صواريخ ما أعرف شنو قام يقع فوق. ابني مات بسدي 10 سنين عمره، وضرايري 2 نسوان زوجي يعني ماتنا بسدي.
Medical facilities also come under attack. Ahmed, who was wounded in an explosion near his house, had to flee from the bombing of the hospital where he had been taken for treatment.
يا الله باب المستشفى أنا بالمستشفى مدنيين ودواعش ما ظل بي دم قلت له يا بلا نطلع المستشفى جابوا لي سدي وطلعت والصا ما صار ما أعرف لما وصلتوني هذا اللي صار.
Ahmed is now being treated at the MSF medical facility in East Mosul, a few kilometres from the front line. The inhabitants of East Mosul are gradually returning to their homes, but many of them, wounded during the fighting, are unable to resume their previous lives, like people who've had emergency surgery but still need post-operative care.
قالوا لي راح نحول لك شيء يربطوا لك العصب مع رجلك، يسووا لك عمليات تتحسنين، عندك هذا القدم ما تقدر تحركين ان هاي يعني قاعيه مع القدم، على المستقبل يحطوا لك يعني مثل نقول هيك عمل يعني قاعيه يعني عمل تقدر تنهضين الحركه مع رجلك. ما اعرف جابوني هنا كل 4 أيام 5 يسووني عمليه، كل 4 أيام 5 يسووني عمليه. ما جاد يعني بس هالايام يعني شويه اقدر احركها يعني.
MSF opened this facility in March. It has an emergency room, surgical theatre and a 30-bed inpatient department. The vast majority of patients have war wounds.
Imagine you've been wounded in the fighting that happens near the front line or in West Mosul at the moment, and you've been stabilized. You maybe even received a first-line emergency surgical intervention, and now you're walking with a piece of shrapnel or a bullet or a foreign body inside of you. You don't require any life-saving emergency treatment, but you still have something that prevents you from leading a normal life.
Since opening the facility, MSF has given over 1,000 emergency consultations and performed more than 175 surgeries. As people gradually return to East Mosul, medical needs in this part of the city are set to increase still further. The team is currently extending its inpatient capacity by adding 20 more beds. After fighting broke out last November, PK3 camp was set up to provide protection to civilians fleeing their homes. 8 months later, the 3,000 initially expected have risen to 25,000. New arrivals are putting up makeshift shelters, but they're not receiving basic necessities such as plastic sheeting and soap. Overcrowding, lack of water, makeshift shelters, all these factors foster the spread of epidemics.
Nous sommes en période de pic pali, ce qui fait que les enfants sont régulièrement malades et nous sommes obligés d'ouvrir une clinique mobile pour soigner les enfants de moins de 15 ans. Les conditions de vie ici sont déplorables parce qu'il n'y a pas suffisamment de latrines, il n'y a pas suffisamment d'eau. On crée une épidémie liée au manque d'eau.
The teams are improving the camp's water supply. In a situation where there's not enough humanitarian aid to respond to needs, an epidemic could fast become unmanageable. Hakobian has a drug-resistant form of tuberculosis. He's been on treatment for 16 months.
Teor tuberculoza pujumen, draid mekte xirnele nayum, liarta luboy bolor organele nayum, hedazodumen. Hedazodelu jamana gzgatsinor liartus hepatitis.
Hakobian was able to benefit from the new generation of hepatitis C drugs, direct-acting antivirals. 3 months on, the virus was no longer detected in his blood. He still has to wait for a second test to confirm he's cured.
Tous les patients qui ont été mis sous traitement ont jusqu'à maintenant, et le programme vient simplement de commencer, eu des résultats très positifs et ont très bien supporté avec très peu d'effets secondaires ces nouveaux traitements.
Just a short time ago, Hakobian was suffering from 2 very serious infections, neither of which could be treated properly. The treatment he took for hepatitis C appears to have been successful. And he's taking bedaquiline, a new drug for drug-resistant TB, which has greatly increased his chances of survival. You're a water and sanitation expert, and MSF has just sent you to Sana'a, the capital of Yemen. First, you meet with the head of mission, who puts you in the picture. Suspected cholera cases have just been reported in a town in Amran Governorate. Your task is to set up a 50-bed cholera treatment centre, or CTC for short. Once you get there, you'll have 3 days to get the centre up and running. You set off immediately, with this truck transporting the 6 tons of supplies and equipment you'll need. A site's been found near the town's health centre. How can this empty space be converted into a CTC? First, it needs to be divided up into 4 areas. 3 for patient observation, hospitalisation and recovery. The 4th area is for staff only. To pass from one area to another, you'll need to set up different circuits. 1 for patients and their caregivers, 1 for staff, 1 for waste management, and 1 for the handling of corpses. Everyone entering and exiting a CTC goes through a disinfection area. A guard will spray chlorinated water onto the soles of people's feet or shoes as they go in and out. People must wash their hands too. Make sure chlorinated water is available to do so. You'll also need plastic sheeting to cover the ground in the patient tents. It needs to be regularly cleaned using a chlorine solution. Now for the beds. You'll use specialised beds with holes in them for severely dehydrated patients too weak to get up. Place buckets next to each bed as cholera patients suffer from vomiting and diarrhoea. There also needs to be something to hang a saline drip. Drips are not required in the observation and recovery tents, where patients need just oral rehydration salts mixed with water. The staff area will be used to store supplies. CTCs demand a lot of medical supplies and equipment. These include the famous oral rehydration salts, but also chlorine, IV equipment, buckets, and so on. You'll also need to organise water supply. CTCs use huge quantities of water that has to be chlorinated to avoid risk of contamination. It's also where staff prepare the chlorine solutions. Depending on what it's for, cleaning floors, spraying feet, washing hands or the handling of corpses, different concentrations are made up and used in specific areas in the centre. Lastly, you'll have to install latrines and hand washing points, which help prevent the spread of cholera. Because you have 2 objectives: to provide care to patients, but also to contain the epidemic. And it doesn't end there. Your teams will visit the whole area treating water sources, raising awareness to the disease, and implementing hygiene measures in homes and public spaces. Fulfilling all of the above and complying with a range of stringent procedures are as crucial in Yemen now as they are during any other cholera outbreak.
Ceux qui n'ont pas les moyens ou ceux qui n'ont pas de chance, ils vont se faire pendant plusieurs semaines ou plusieurs mois emprisonner. On va les obliger à travailler sans être rémunérés. Ils vont être gardés dans des conditions de vie exécrables, pires que celles des centres de détention. Et un nombre assez important d'entre eux vont mourir. Tout ce passage-là dans le désert avant d'arriver sur la côte est assez mal connu. Mais les indications qu'on a pour l'instant semblent montrer qu'il y a au moins autant de morts dans le désert que sur la Méditerranée. C'est évidemment des circonstances très difficiles pour une organisation humanitaire que d'assister ces gens-là qui vivent dans la clandestinité totale sous la coupe de réseaux mafieux extrêmement violents. On continue d'essayer d'avoir accès à cette population et en attendant, on s'occupe d'assister les personnels qui ramassent les corps et qui essayent de les identifier avant de les enterrer dignement. C'est un processus assez long, puisque ces migrants qui se retrouvent jetés littéralement sur les escaliers de la morgue chaque matin n'ont pas de papier sur eux. Et donc ces procédures, d'une part, prennent très longtemps, les corps restent trop longtemps à la morgue, et souvent se concluent par un échec. Et donc ces gens-là qui ont vécu l'enfer, qui ont échoué et qui sont morts, meurent de façon anonyme. On veut s'occuper des morts pour augmenter les chances de ces pauvres gens qui ont tout tenté pour rejoindre l'Europe et qui ont échoué, qui sont morts dans le désert, pour augmenter les chances que leur nom soit connu, qu'ils ne meurent pas totalement anonymes et qu'ils ne disparaissent pas dans les vents du désert, comme ça, que leur sort soit connu de leur famille, de leurs autorités et de l'humanité au sens large. L'idée que des populations importantes disparaissent de la Terre sans que leur nom n'apparaisse plus jamais, c'est quelque chose qui heurte mon sens de l'humanitaire.